Oh, I can believe that. 100%. Big time. Mr. Chapman, I got a question here. Where's it at? Don't tell me. Mr. Chapman, what does China have as far as influence, and do you feel that they have influence that will make a difference in the global crisis?
No, they get their own set of problems. 30 million unemployed. They're spending $578 billion to keep work going so that they don't have a revolution. You got to remember, it's a totalitarian government. It's from the top down. It's not a good government. They always overproduce because they have these plans, and communism just simply doesn't work. And capitalism does if we have rules to put chains on the bankers. But that aside, going back to China, what that's going to do is it's going to make the Chinese currency, the yuan, which is the external currency, very strong. And the Chinese have historically, over the last 15, 20 years, made their currency deliberately weak. And how they did that was they print yuan, and they go buy dollars. And they take the dollars and they go buy U.S. treasuries. The United States did that because somebody was buying their treasuries because they needed people to spend $3 billion a day buying their treasuries because of the debt each day that the U.S. was incurring. At the same time, it held down inflation, but in the United States. For the Chinese now, their currency is going to go up in value, and that's going to make it more difficult for the Chinese to compete with their exports with other countries, because everybody is out there beggaring their neighbor by deliberately lowering the value of their currency like China had done before. So China is in a tough spot, and I don't think they can work their way out of it. Plus their banks, and nobody ever talks about this. There's billions and billions of dollars in bad loans in their banks. Why? If you're a member of the Communist Party, you go to the bank and say, I get this corporation, and I need money. Here's my business plan, and I'm going to start making tables. And the bank has to give them the money. They give them the money, they take the money, and they don't go and make tables. They run down to the stock exchange, and they gamble with it, and they lose it. Then they can't pay it back, but that's okay, because they're a party member. They don't have to pay it back. So they get some serious problems.
Well, yeah, I guess so. They're playing in the stock market gamble. The big casino in the sky is going to bring them up. I have another question here, Mr. Chapman. Why is congressional leaders joining Bush pounding the table that the rest of the world needs to recover first? Why send trillions of dollars of our money overseas?
Control, and that money that is being sent overseas will be spent with U.S. transnational corporations. And it's always been that way. Always. You hear about foreign aid? Yeah. Foreign aid for who? IBM, Hewlett-Packard, Exxon, United Fruit Company, and on and on. That's how that system worked. The rich get richer. Sure, the country's got the money. Sure, they got the product. Sure, they got the help. But the biggies made all the real dough. That's why you have lobbying. These lobbyists for all of these big transnationals, they're in there in Congress saying, here's $100,000 for your campaign, and you just make sure you vote our way. And that's the way it works. They're being bought off and paid off. 90% of our Congress is that way. About 5 or 6% maybe are compromised because of strange lives that they lead. And the other 4 or 5% are the good guys who really represent us, and the rest of them are nothing but political whores.
A question comes in that says, Mr. Chapman, I've heard Drew mention on many of his shows that you live outside the United States when he promotes you during the week. What is your take on the fact that Turkey is exporting or having 48,000 criminals deported outside their country with just a limited amount of police and military they have? Why can't they do something similar in the United States when there's estimated over 60,000 illegal criminals that are here?
Wonderful question. You ought to submit that to our new president and the Speaker of the House, and you know, these people should all be sent home. I mean, maybe Mexico and Nicaragua and Costa Rica and Panama and Argentina and on and on and on. Oh, China too. We don't want to leave anybody out. They won't be too happy with these criminals coming back because they're going to do the same thing in their countries that they did in the United States, so they don't want them. In fact, they don't even want workers who are illegally in the United States to go home, say to Mexico. The Mexican governments along the border states, the frontera, they have already told the United States government, stop letting these people come back. We can't house them. We can't give them medical care. We can't feed them. There's no jobs. And they're right. But that's not the point. That's their problem.
We've just got about 90 seconds left. One last question from Bobby from Southeast Asia. She comes in from New Zealand and says, Mr. Chapman, it is being reported here in the Christchurch newspapers that General Electric or top GE executives in America are saying the American economy crisis is resetting capitalism around the world. Do you have any insight to that?
Doing what to capitalism?
Resetting capitalism.
Resetting? Well, there's going to be a lot of changes in capitalism. And we don't know how this is all going to turn out. But I'm guessing that 50% of the countries in the world will have revolution. And out of that revolution, they're going to learn from their mistakes, especially in the United States. And there will be big changes. Big changes. There'll be no more lobbying. There'll be no more executive orders. They will revert to the original Constitution. No more wiretaps. No more Gestapo in the name of Homeland Security. No more stopping people on roads to see what color eyes they've got or whether they got a Ron Paul sticker in their car. That crap will all stop. So free enterprise and capitalism will come back strong, but it's going to be very, very difficult in between. A lot of people are going to die.
We actually do have another time for one last question here. Mr. Chapman, in Japan, the Mitsuho Financial Group, the second largest bank in Japan, has reported $5.4 billion loss in Tokyo's Friday paper. Do you have any input?
Well, I think they probably had some of those collateralized debt obligations, and $5 billion is a lot of money, and that probably was the way that they lost it. I'm just guessing. And banks throughout the world, but particularly in Europe and the United States, were the ones who got whacked with that stuff. Not only that, pension plans, retirement plans, banks, savings places. I mean, professionals really get hit with this thing, and that's probably what happened to them. And Japan's in depression.
Yeah. Give out your contact information before we get to music.
TheInternationalForecaster.com. The International, FORECASTER.com. Email bob at, I forgot it.
It's on my website, guys. It's on my website.
It's on the website. Go get it. Go get it.
All right, Mr. Chapman, we got to go. Thank you very much.
See you later.
See you next week. I know, ladies and gentlemen, that was a fast hour with one of the most intelligent men in the world in international financial, and he will be back next week, and he's listed there on other networks, on the 3 W's, a Marines Disquisition. 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.